have shocked me, I'm sure. Yes, you would have shocked me, and I would have been deserving of it. Yes, this is part of the list. What I'm about to do right now, it is part of the list. Yes. If I would have got shocked right now, I would have deserved it. But you know what wasn't part of the list? Pressing me. Crazy to y'all. I look extra aggressive.
Yo, you look on. Yo, like for real, my yo. No. Bugging out. No. Like you lucky I don't hurt you, yo.
Are you kidding me?
This house is on fire.
Just threw that apple in my face for no.
Put hands on, brother.
I'm going to the county.
I look crazy.
Let's do marriage boot camp.
Yes.
Let's talk about marriage boot camp. Let's do that. So marriage boot camp. By now, if you come here every Friday, come on, you should know about it. But if you're here, our channel is actually a lot of the audience here now. It's a marriage boot camp, and this is more like a marriage boot camp we do here every Friday. If you really think about it.
Yeah.
So we should talk about it. So this show is going on right now. They just did episode 5 yesterday. So the first thing I want to do is let me go find that video. I want to play the video, right? I'll play the video, and then you're probably just going to hear it, but you can also play it back on our wall if you want to do that.
All right, it's on the wall. Yeah, on
It's on the wall.
Instagram.
Yeah.
And YouTube too, right?
Yeah. Plus, we have another video of us reacting to what just happened. But so there's this guy called Vado and Tahiry, and they're a couple on the show. And there was a big blowout on the last episode. But before the episode actually aired, we saw a clip of him getting aggressive with the young lady.
You're right.
But after we saw the show, she was also
They're both aggressive, by the way.
aggressive. So, and I've seen a few people come on the platform and say, hey, not to support nothing, but they both don't need to be together. She's also violent.
I agree. It's a toxic relationship.
Right.
It's horrible.
It's a toxic relationship. Absolutely. 100%. So today we're talking about 14 signs of an insecure man. So if you want to see that full-blown thing, if you're watching the recording of this later or anything like that, you may have to go watch the full, maybe 2 hours. Who knows how long we're going to be here, right?
Not more than 2 hours. Okay.
No. I meant like maybe less than that.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So first thing I want to do is I want to play back. No, this is not the one we're doing.
We're doing marriage boot camp, babe.
Oh, this is not the one we're doing. We're doing this one. There you go.
Crazy to y'all. I look extra aggressive.
Yo, you look on. Yo, like for real, my yo. No. Bugging out. No. Like you lucky I don't hurt you, yo.
Are you kidding me?
This house is on fire.
Just threw that apple in my face for no.
Put hands on, brother.
I'm going to the county.
I look crazy to y'all. I look extra aggressive.
Yo, you look on. Yo, like for real, my yo. No. Bugging out. No. Like you lucky I don't hurt you, yo.
Are you kidding me?
This house is on fire.
Just threw that apple in my face for no.
Put hands on, brother.
I'm going to the county.
I look crazy.
There you go. So that's the video right there. It's a short video. Hey, what's going on, Auntie Gladys? We can't wait till tomorrow.
Hey, Auntie Gladys.
Yeah. So here's the issue with that. So this gentleman, when we saw the clip, it was him charging at this girl, basically like this, got aggressive with the girl.
Hands on the neck. Not basically like this. Hands on the neck.
Yes.
Choking. Okay.
Who was it choking?
Excuse me. Keep your hands to yourself. Hands on another person.
Here's what I want people to
Unacceptable.
tell. Optics matter. Optics, like what people see it as, what the general public see things as, and the aggressee, not the aggressor, the aggressee, right? What they see it as, that's what matters, right? Women, if you get just animated,
It's scary to a woman.
it's scary.
You're like
for a
big.
typical
You're
woman.
like Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Like what do you call bears? When bears come at you, that's how I see a man that is aggressive. I'm sorry to say, but that's what it looks like to a woman, I think.
Exactly. So it's typical for. I mean, it's scary for a typical woman, and it's very, very important to understand that when you are dealing with when you see people respond or people react to anything as physical violence, it's not physical violence when you already touched the person. It starts as physical violence when you start banging tables and you start throwing stuff. So that's Tahiry.
You would have shocked me, I'm sure. Yes, you would have shocked me, and I would have been deserving of it. Yes, this is part of the list. What I'm about to do right now, it is part of the list. Yes. If I would have got shocked right now, I would have deserved it. But you know it wasn't part of the list? Pressing me.
Yeah, she did that.
So after we watched the episode, we noticed that Tahiry threw two
apples.
And angrily threw two apple or oranges.
Apples.
Potato.
Green
right?
apples.
At this gentleman, okay? So now when you're dealing with an insecure man that we kind of already know for weeks, we've been talking about this, that this guy comes off as insecure.
Yeah.
All right. When you're dealing with that, you basically, you're basically have somebody that's not equipped enough to react properly or respond properly to that type of behavior. So in other words, he's hurt.
But hurt.
He's gonna hurt you back.
And he actually mentioned it a few times. He said somebody's gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? He said that in the confessional room.
Yep. He said that somebody's gonna get hurt. So now, if somebody is getting violent with you in a relationship, responding with violence is not key. It's not. That's not what you want to do. What you want to do as soon as you can, if God gives you grace, is to get out of that place.
Yep.
Get out of that situation, of the relationship, until somebody seeks help.
Yeah, but people will think about their investment, about what people will say, and they put their lives at risk because of a relationship.
So it's not the easiest thing to get out of a situation, because somebody asked, like, why do people stay in this kind of relationship? It's because we're social and emotional beings. Our emotional aspects, part of us, does not count in numbers, does not count in terms of how much you've hurt me. That's not how it counts. You have to be emotionally intelligent, significantly, and be strong to even be any remotely close to that. The way we count is the impact that people leave on us. So what kind of impact are we talking about? We're talking about sentiments as well. Sentimental value. What are people going to say? That's a real value.
That's a real thing
for all of us. No matter how we like to shape it, I don't care about what people say. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. That's why you're saying that. The very reason why you're saying it out in words is because you care.
It's an insecurity
about what I think about you. That's why you're telling me that you don't care about what people say.
It's a defense mechanism.
Yes, you're being defensive. That's exactly what you are. Okay, and that's a sign of insecurity.
It is.
That's actually one of the signs of insecurity. We're going to talk about the 14 signs. We're going to touch on all.
Crazy to y'all. I look extra aggressive.
Yo, you look like for real, my yo. No. Bugging out. No. Like, you lucky I don't hurt you, yo.
Are you kidding me?
This house is on fire.
Just threw that apple in my face for no.
Put hands on, brother.
I'm going to the county.
I look crazy.
Every time I see that part where he tried to choke her, my body just is like, what? Like, that's just too much.
Yeah.
Like, see, I'm not saying making excuses for Tyree, because everyone knows Tyree is aggressive.
Yep.
But violence is not the way to go.
I mean, you don't answer violence with violence. He should have
removed himself from that relationship. In fact, he does not value himself for him to be in a relationship like that. So for people, you can't. And did you see his tweet yesterday?
Yeah, what's up?
About they will see who the aggressor is. Like, no,
right. He said that.
You're still making excuses, bro.
Yeah. He's making excuses.
You gotta go get some help.
So let me give it to him. Let me say, you're right. Okay, she was wrong too, but that's not what it's about.
Obviously, we know she is wrong.
That's not what this is about. That's not what it's about. It's bigger than right and wrong. The easiest thing for people to do is to point out right and wrong. Relationships are deeper than that. Okay, if you want to stay in a relationship, you have to be smarter than just calling out right and wrong.
I mean, would I?
Yeah, you have to go a little bit deeper than that, there's a court of law for right and wrong. There is, there's more than enough churches around that will tell you what's right and wrong. Your Bible will tell you what's right and wrong. But if you still want to be in a relationship with that person, which is oftentimes the situation,
The case, yeah.
the case, that's the word I'm looking
We'll
for.
talk.
Thanks, babe. Then you have to think a little deeper than that. You have to go a little bit deeper than, oh, you're just wrong, you're just right. Okay. So, and that's a big part of all of this, So a lot of things we're going to point out of the 14 signs of an insecure man. Most typical men will see it and say, "What about her?" You're right. She's also wrong. You're right.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Tit for tat never works.
You're right. She's also wrong. Okay. But the key here is that we want to learn what it takes. We want to learn what it takes to be in a healthy relationship, regardless of what the other person is doing. And then by doing the right things, a series of right things, patience are required, especially if you're already in crisis. By doing so, you can attract the type of energy that you want. Okay? It's not if, it's 100% works. Okay? The only thing that will make it not work is if you don't have enough patience. That's the only thing.
Or you put a time limit on patience. It has to be infinite patience.
Yeah, because again, you don't measure emotions is not measured in form of time, right? So you have to be extremely generous with your patience. You have to be extremely, and how do you do that when somebody's hurting you? Well, it goes back to you have to be self-sustained, self-sufficient. As a matter of fact, in reality, you're not really waiting for them. You're not waiting, okay? Because if you're waiting, you will get tired. You will get frustrated with that process. So it's very, very important to understand these things. As we break them down, understand that this is not about right and wrong. Whatever you think is right, you are right. Whatever you think is wrong, you are right too. Because again, I can't spell out your belief system for you. I can point it out to you if your belief system is hurting you in your relationship.
Oh, true.
I can point that out because that happens a lot.
It does, because of the things we believe in.
Your ideologies that you're stuck on can make you hurt in relationships.
Yes.
Remember, in relationship, not you personally, right? So, sometimes, like, even though you're right, you're still hurting, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, would that help? Like, the person is still pissed off at you anyway. You're not winning.
Right. So with that being said, he's insecure. She's insecure. There's no question about that. Because why would she end up in a relationship with that kind of a man that's not ready to be in a relationship? Vado is not wrong. It's not about wrong. It's not a criminal. He can go to jail for touching a woman.
He's weak.
He's just a weak individual. He's not ready to be in a relationship. He shouldn't be in a relationship. And again, obviously,
what? What's that spider?
That thing is flying. Jesus.
It was coming down little by little. That was weird.
So and of course, obviously, right? Her, So, but let's spell out the society we live in. There's no tolerance for a man touching a woman, physically assaulting a woman. Okay,
it's not okay.
I'm not saying it's wrong or right or it should be equal. That's not what I'm arguing here. That's not what I'm talking about. That's a different topic entirely. That's for the legislators to determine how unfair it is. Talk to your local councillor and your chairman of your local government area and the mayor of your city and the state on how unfair it is the justice system is to a man or a woman. Okay.
Okay.
Because sometimes these things can be confusing.
Yeah, it is. Go ahead, babe.
So you have to understand that those are two different things. We're talking about this is a woman that you love, you still want to be in a relationship, but she's insecure, or you're insecure, or you find out that you guys butt head back and forth.
A lot, yeah.
That's signs of insecurity. Okay, on both people's part. It's not one-sided. It's never one-sided. Okay. Oh, but she's insecure. Okay. That even makes it more you because now you're pointing fingers. You really don't understand how relationships work. if you say that. Okay? Because it takes two.
To tango.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it takes two. So how much of it do you need? It could be just that little bit of insecurity that you need to cause a catastrophe in your relationship based on how you measure it. I don't know what unit you're measuring it in. I don't understand. But it could be just that little, or it could be that much. Everyone's tolerance level is different.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know? So just keep that at the back of your mind as we do these things. Okay. So with that being said, I think we should let's touch really quickly in about 1 minute on the other couple. So we have Phaedra. What's going on with Phaedra? Phaedra is basically
She's numb.
not in a relationship with that guy.
Yeah.
What's going on with what you call it? Devon and Izui.
Devon and Izui. Izui think Devon is there for the clout.
For the clout?
And
No, what's going on based on the assessment? Your assessment.
What's going on? Well, I don't know. Devon is he has a temper.
Yeah, it's too quiet and
He has a temper. He's on the extreme. So he's very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he blows up like a madman. See, that's the balance of emotion that I'm talking about. You can't be
right.
on the extreme.
If whoever is the most quiet in a relationship is the most dangerous.
True, because they keep things on the inside.
Okay. Now, I'll say that with respect to just the context of that sentence, because if you're talkative too, you're also you're the catalyst for the, so keep that at the back of your mind. It's not fault. Remember, it's not fault. I'm not distributing blame at all. I'm just letting you know a person who is quiet, who doesn't say a lot, is a very dangerous person. So if you're a quiet person, think about it like this. As much as you think you're holy, you actually pose a very dangerous part of that relationship.
Right.
Because you have a tendency to build resentment.
Absolutely.
The most, okay? Because again, you're not saying everything how you feel. And it could be you're really trying not to offend the other person. It could be that. There's either side of it the extreme of either side of it can be very toxic.
I need water.
Go get water.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. All right. So it could be either side of the equation, but a person who is the most quiet is can be in a very dangerous spot with respect to the relationship. So you want to make sure that you identify who that person is in your relationship. There's always one person, one of the two, who is the most quiet, and then the other person is the talker. They talk a lot, right? They express their feeling. They're very quick they don't have a problem expressing themselves. And the extreme of that is when people get very upset and get defensive and they just say how they feel without any respect for how it may land on the other side. Because remember, the mind is a very fickle thing. You can say the wrong thing very quickly, and your intentions does not matter. Okay, you may have the best intentions, right? But you can say the wrong things very, very fast, very, very quickly if you're a talker. And the person who is very quiet, who is on the receiving end of that, even if they don't respond right there and there, they are building resentments. Okay? And that can be a very dangerous place to be in. So just keep that in mind. So that's Devon is quiet, is dangerous, firecracker is dangerous. He needs to express himself a little bit more because the last time he's tried to express himself, it was a blowout. Basically, he got physical.
He went nuts.
With both his girl and somebody else. So that's the issue with that. Who else is there? Corrupt needs to go sober all the way.
All the time.
Everything he needs to do to go sober. Everything in his power to go sober, he needs to do that. Okay? Because if he doesn't,
he's a crazy person when
then he starts expressing himself.
Right.
And like I said,
but he's well behaved when he's sober.
Right. So, and we're all like that. We put on filter. I got no filter, no filters. You're a liar. We all have filters, and filters can be a good thing. It can be a terrible thing. Again, the extreme of both ends is what's really bad. Okay. And also it depends on the person you're with, right? So the dynamics can change from couples to couples, right?
That's right.
All right. So who else?
Willie and Shonda.
Willie and Shonda. Okay. So issues in that situation is they love each other. You have any take on that?
Well, Willie seemed to have issues. I mean, he's a cheater. He's cheated 12
Is he
times
still cheating?
in his marriage.
Okay.
He's at boot camp because he wants to be a better
Is that one of those
person.
things? Always a cheater, always a cheater?
Well, some people say that, but I'm not of that narrative. I feel like anyone can change as long as they want to.
Some people don't agree that people can change, but do you agree that people grow? People do grow up.
Yeah.
Okay. There's some things that you did when you're 21. Once you're 28, like if you go hanging out at the club when you're 38, you start feeling funny. Depends on what
Some
kind of
people will
club
call
it is,
you
right?
uncle, auntie, and you're like, oh shit.
Depending on
I'm
what
so
kind of
old
club
for
it
this.
is, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you're right. Always a cheater, always. But people do outgrow certain behaviors, right? And depending on how you're reacting with them, because again, you're a catalyst for their behavior. Depending on the dynamics of that, people do grow up faster than you would think.
Right.
And that could be equal to the kind of relationship you want with them or commitment level that you want with them. So don't just how do I say this? Don't just write yourself off or your relationship off because somebody used to be a cheater.
Yeah, but I think Willie might be struggling with something it could be like baggages from his childhood.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's seriously lacking something.
Why do you feel that way, babe?
Because he keep bouncing from woman to woman, even though he's married. It's not
Wait,
even one
is it still
woman.
bouncing?
I mean, till they came to boot camp. They're in boot camp for a reason.
Oh, okay.
You know, but the issue is he's consistently cheating. And the wife didn't know how many people he cheated with until mentioned it. It's 12 people that he has cheated with.
Well, there are two sides to that. First of all, we don't know if that's really 12. It could be 24.
He said that himself. Yeah, it could be lying. But
Right.
I feel like he's coming from a lack of something, some struggle within him. And of course, Shonda is dealing with forgiveness. Come on. Someone keeps treating you like that all the time, you find it hard to forgive them. But she should also not be in a relationship where she can't forgive because, unforgiveness make you a bitter person.
Yeah. Here's what I think. The number of people he's cheated with matters to her, and it should be addressed.
She's a woman.
In the grand scheme of things beyond her, it doesn't matter. Okay? But it matters to her, which is why I kind of agree with what's his name, Steve Harvey.
Oh,
that
what did he say?
If a guy is asking you, especially ladies, that what's your body count, that's always 3. Okay, because
if you say more than 3, oh my God, he might
because
not marry
most
you.
men are insecure.
Exactly.
And then you got a problem in your hands. Okay. I don't think it's a relevant number in the grand scheme of things. If a person is hurting, like what's her name, Shonda?
Yes.
If a person is hurting, it matters because that's her feelings. It's not even about the numbers; it's her feelings. That, of course, that will make her feel terrible, make her feel less.
She was shocked.
What is it that you're looking
I didn't
for?
even know that.
Yeah.
12.
So saying it out like that is not the wisest thing. I know some people say
no. He said that.
Wait,
he said that when he finished saying it, was like, I don't think I should have said that.
Yeah, it's not the wisest.
No,
thing.
it's
because
not.
Again, for those people that say just come out with all the truth, that's the best thing. I disagree. I 100% disagree because again, you're looking at it with just plain logic, and it doesn't work like that.
No,
These
it
are
doesn't.
people's feelings. That's why forgiveness is hard. These are people's feelings being affected. These are people's security, self-esteem being affected. And these are things that they will question for the rest of their lives. So no, it's not like just because you tell the truth doesn't mean you're wise. Okay, it doesn't mean everything is going to go right.
You better be ready to lose something.
And I'm not saying tell lies. I'm not saying tell lies. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there are certain truths in life that are not relevant to the situation at hand.
I agree.
Okay. So you should tell just half the truth. No, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. Okay. The point is this: we all don't know the truth already by default. I don't know the first 23 years of our life.
Of my life. And it's not important for you to know.
And that's a fact. That I don't know. She could tell me all the stories she wants, which she does. but I still won't know the truth, the 100% truth. So it's not wise to get stuck on your idea of truth because it's just your idea of truth.
Right.
It's better for you to understand listening to the person you're in a relationship with and then operate from that standpoint, because you should be going there to give to them. And when you now go give her the facts, right? The fact of the matter that you slept with 12 people, which could have been 36 or 3 or 11 or 10, because I don't know who is counting, but oh well.
He counted.
It's counted, right? It could have been any of those numbers, right? The effect on her heart is the same thing. She's still hurt. So if she's asking how many people, the best thing you can do is maybe a number that will, because you really shouldn't be knowing, because if you know, that's even a different sickness on its own. But you really should just be like, I don't know, maybe 3 or so, you know, I don't know. You don't know? Listen, I was just in a very bad place. Change the topic, and I'm here to make things better.
Right.
Change the topic. The fact of the matter does not matter. How the impact on that person's heart right now is all that matters. Okay, and it's a very unwise thing that I see people do, or even advice. Just come out and tell the truth. Dude, if you know the truth, why are you asking me? Since you already know the truth.
You want to hear me say?
So it's not the truth that you want to know. You just want to feel better about the situation, right? So that's the problem that I see there with Shonda
And
Willie. Clearly, he hasn't learned anything with respect to right now. He's just sucking up, he's crying, he's like all this stuff. That doesn't help. That's extreme end. She can't trust him right now. Okay, the crying comes off as manipulative at some point.
it is.
Okay,
Especially when a man is crying.
see, no one is mentioning that. No one's talking about that.
It is manipulative.
Yeah, that's gonna come off if you do too much of that crying stuff. Whether you're gonna look like a weak man. There's nothing wrong with the man crying, but there's
women
certain
are just
circumstances that everything is wrong with it.
Women are not attracted. I mean, I would say maybe most women are not attracted to men that cry. It's just not an attractive thing.
In certain scenarios, depends on what is going on. If his mother died,
That's different.
that's different.
But
exactly.
you're just crying every time.
No, so you don't want to go there and
no.
say, I don't want to cry in front of my wife, even though your
it's
mother
okay
just
to
died.
be vulnerable.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So, but if there's a situation with the relationship and you're very quick to go towards crying, she can't trust you emotionally.
She'll be disgusted.
So in the moment, she may do this and right.
So every day, me, I want to be putting your what?
In the
Please.
moment, she may do that.
I'm not your mama.
Yeah.
I beg.
In the moment, she may do that. In the long run of things, she still can't trust you emotionally. And that's always going to be a problem, especially coming from a typical man to a typical woman. I'm not talking about you, the masculine woman. I'm not talking about you, okay? We're going to talk all about that in the 14 signs.
We're talking about the feminine women.
So, is that it? That's
The sirens.
That's all of them?
Yes, that's all of them.
All right, so that's the Marriage Boot Camp review for the week. We're going to continue to watch the show.
Now, what is your advice for Vado? We can just leave that topic like
Vado needs to learn how to be a man, period. It's not even necessarily the physical violence thing, because physical violence is wrapped up into all of that. Like a man does not feel the need to be validated by a woman, much less catching feelings because she said you're broke. So,
and she also,
even if you're really
she
broke,
also pointed that he doesn't pay no bills. Okay.
Right. Oh, this is
That
important to
will
point this
crush
out. A woman will do everything that Tahiry was doing, which I agree was wrong. It's just not relevant. Wrongs are not relevant. Okay. I'm going to pick at the person I would have preferred to be the leader in that scenario, and that's Vado. And that's one of the things that she had been complaining about. That it's a boy. You know, I prefer that a man is a leader when there's a problem like that, especially when there's crisis, right? So, and he refused to step up to that plate all the while, you know, for the last 4-5 episodes, you know. What's up, Ola Abi? How far, bro?
Hello.
All right. So, and he refused to step up to all of that, you know, to step up to that plate. And yeah, you may disagree with him, but a woman should too. Okay, you're right. But I'm just saying right now, a woman didn't.
I mean, she chose the boy, so she's equally
a woman.
responsible.
I'm talking about the person that most likely people will try to defend. You know, people have a tendency to defend the underdog, and that's Vado in this situation. The default is that they defend the woman, of course, because of the physical violence aspect of it. But I agree he needs to seek help. But beyond that now, a woman, I need to say this to the men that are listening to this, a woman will always test you and they will hit below the belt. That's why a man that knows a woman does not argue with a woman. They will always hit below the belt. They are better at it than you. Okay. I know. You know how to be petty too. I get it. Okay.
No. This generation definitely has a lot of petty men. But
she is probably going to be better at that than you. And the society is probably more in her favor with respect to that. And I would definitely say you want to be careful with that. You know, you want to be careful with competing with a woman in terms of being the feminine energy in a relationship, in terms of being the woman in the relationship. And I don't mean that with any disrespect. I'm just saying, as a king, you need to do everything in your power to show up as a king always. If a king, I watched another show today with Olaya, Maya Olaya.
Oh.
And she used an extreme example. Not all the way related, but related. She said, if somebody rejected you, it hurts. But you really should look at it as, use an extreme example. I know it's kind of extreme, but if a madman rejected you, would you be so butthurt about it?
No, because it's a madman.
It's a madman.
No.
So if somebody rejects you and you're in a relationship with that person, that's not a madman. I get it. But you clearly don't understand what's going on with that person because you didn't reject yourself. At least you don't feel like anything is wrong with you to the point of they want to reject you. But just take it as, I don't know what's going on with them. But don't be so quick to go towards the direction of feeling less than the value that you see yourself as. Mm-hmm. Okay? It becomes, rejection breeds obsession.
Yes, it does.
What happened?
Yes, it does.
Why am I almost coughing too?
Belly?
Yeah.
Because you're talking a lot.
Where's that coming from? No, it's weird. We never do that.
Okay,
I was a lie.
Wait.
The devil's a lie.
Talk about extremes. I don't think negative like that. It's okay.
The devil's a liar.
Stop.
All right. So, what am I saying here? Yeah.
If someone rejects you,
don't think of them as a madman. That's not what I'm saying. I use that as an extreme so you can get the point that I'm trying to make. Clearly, you don't understand something about what's going on with them, or maybe you understand. But the key thing is that most human beings will go all the way to the direction of they feel less because somebody rejected them, because rejection breeds obsession. We're all humans. All of us, we all do that.
So it's like a knee-jerk reaction. So
right.
You have
I'm beyond knee-jerk because sometimes people hold on to like especially women. I think a lot of men actually. When somebody rejects you, it becomes insecurity in the next relationship. It's
a human feeling.
Yes, we all do it.
We have to just keep building ourselves and not make it personal. But when you're emotionally invested in someone, that would feel bad.
It feels bad, but it's okay to feel bad. What is not okay is if you start feeling less than yourself, your self-esteem start dropping, your self-worth.
You have to catch yourself.
All the way to even like people take it to work. They take that energy to work. They take it to the next relationship in case it becomes
they do.
So but these are the extreme examples of what all these things are about. And it's not about good people or bad people. Good people go through this stuff, bad people go through this stuff. Mm-hmm. It's really about skill set.
It is.
It's about intelligence, not just random intelligence, emotional intelligence. Like I know people with 4 or 5 degrees, master's degree that struggle with this stuff.
It's not about that.
Yeah,
it's not about that.
So that's that. So Shonda, forgiveness, but if that guy is behaving a certain way in that moment when he's behaving, she needs to gain enough strength to respect herself and bow out.
Yes, and
I'm
which
not-
is very hard
listen.
for people to do because again, oh, we have a child together. What would people say? Oh my God, I've been married for years. Now my marriage is over. But you're right. You have to respect yourself and bow out. If you don't, then expect that person to keep treating you like a doormat.
You know, people respond to consequences, pain, and pleasure. Okay, that's what we respond to when it comes to our behavior, right? So it's one of those things when people say, "Why go to?" I forgot how to say it, but the point is, if I'm going to get it for free, why should I work so hard?
Mm-hmm.
If
You
you're
don't
going to be
value
here,
it.
right? You know, if you're going to be here every day, you know, if I have bad habits and stuff like that, why should I change my bad habits?
That's
if
because
you're going to be here anyway.
Yeah.
So if you're being treated with disrespect in your relationship, it's because that person, maybe not deliberately, maybe not intentional, that person has not attached any pain to their behavior, to their present behavior.
There's no consequences.
There's no consequences. So, and I'm keeping it simple so that you can understand that, yes, I'm saying potentially you may have to leave that relationship or that marriage, but you don't just go jump into something else. That right there may be what that person needs to see the reality. Like, no, let me not take
To
this person
change.
for granted.
Yeah.
To change. And then you can now deliberately, intentionally, right, with some intelligence, emotional intelligence, look at this person if this is what you want to be in as you move on into the future. But now we can scale things and look at where we are. Like, okay, do I want to stay in this relationship or not? And it's hard. It's easier said than done.
Oh, it's
because we're
hard.
social and emotional beings, and we have fear, and we don't know what's on the other side. But I'm just telling you, I'm just letting you know that people don't change their behavior typically unless there's a kind of pain attached to it.
Right.
So, and the direction they move is because of pleasure. And the difference between pain and pleasure is not equal for everyone. Sometimes people need that frame of reference. So if they don't experience pain, they won't necessarily know what pleasure is like with respect to you. They may not attribute pleasure to the idea of being with you until they experience pain. You don't know bad until you've seen good. You don't know good until you've seen bad. You don't know what white is until you've seen black. I know you grew up knowing white and black, but you learned it at some point.
So.
Okay? And these are people's behavior. It doesn't matter how many prayers you pray. Okay? This is just how people behave. Okay? They change their behavior based on consequences with respect to pain, pleasure. If the idea of being with you spells out pleasure for them, they will be committed without them necessarily following the rules of commitment. They just want to be committed to you. Okay? And now if they enjoy some kind of pleasure, or it looks like pleasure in their eyes, in the eyes of the beholder, it looks like pleasure on the outside, they will act basically accordingly. All right?